Ready.
All right. 3, 2. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 188, recorded on July 12th, 2018. On tonight's episode, we discuss Nintendo... stop that. Let's start over. Sorry. Mouth got ahead of my mind. All right. 3, 2. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 188, recorded on July 12th, 2018. On tonight's episode, we discuss Nintendo's decision to sell Amiibo at a higher price. 2K for WWE is skipping the Switch in 2019 due to sales and performance. There may be Mario Kart 8 Deluxe content on the way and so much more. You'll just have to listen to find out. You ready, guys? Let's go.
Okay.
All right. Welcome to Nintendo Dads, episode 188. My name is Marty Estes, and I'm here tonight with two of the finest in internet podcasters. First up, Mr. Jesse Waldack from VGTribune.com. How you doing, Jesse?
Greetings. I'm doing well. It's one of those long days at work, and we had a production issue while I was upstairs helping make dinner, so I didn't even hear about it until they no longer needed me on the call. So, oops.
All right, well, that's nice, though.
Right? Yeah. It wasn't our system's problem. We were throwing errors as the symptoms. So I think it was a network issue.
All right. Well, hey, and hopefully you just got to have a nice long dinner without any problems.
Dinner was pretty good. It's like a long, complicated recipe, and more complicated than I like to go. So, but it turned out very well, and even the youngest daughter ate with us, which doesn't happen very often.
Well, fantastic. I just had frozen pizza. Always good.
Ours was good. Pan-fried tilapia.
Ooh, very nice. Speaking of very nice, also joining us this week once again is Mr. Cool Zach himself, Zach Bohannon. Zach, how you doing, man?
I am doing good. I'm glad to be back. Just got off some fresh summer travels. Went home for a couple days to celebrate Dar's birthday, and now I'm back talking to you, fine gentlemen, sitting in again. So I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, and we're glad you're here. And I want to ask before we go any further, is it possible for you to donate some of your beard to Jesse? Who has recently found himself beardless?
It's very, very possible. You can have the big gray streak I have going on right here. So
yeah, when it grows back, it'll be plenty gray.
For you guys who don't have the benefit of video and who are just listening, Zach he has quite the impressive beard.
2.5 years I've been growing it out. So
wow, that's dedication.
And I shaved mine off 2 weeks ago, so I only have like 2 weeks of growth.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, tonight we are going to get into all kinds of news. But before we do that, we're going to switch things up this week just a little bit and talk for just a minute about what we've been playing.
Caught me off guard with... All right. Ready.
Sorry about that. All right, guys, so we're moving the what we've been playing segment of our show here to the very beginning and trying to vary a few things up. And we'll talk a little bit more about changes to the show here in a little bit toward the end. But, Zach, since you are our guest, we want to start with you. Just real quick, what have you been playing this week, man?
Yeah, I haven't had a whole lot of time to play this week since I was traveling, like I said. But I've been working on a few backlog games, I guess, to get ready for Octopath, which is, for me, that's the big Switch game this year, since I'm not really into Smash or Pokemon. Like, this is the one I'm really excited about. But so I've been working through Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze. I wasn't a Wii U owner, so this is my first time playing that game. I'm really enjoying it. I think I'm at the boss of the 5th world. Game's tough as nails, as you guys know, I'm sure, but it's a lot of fun. Yeah. I've also been playing I picked up the Crash Bandicoot Insane trilogy.
Yeah, speaking of tough as nails,
and that is tough as well. I I haven't played that one a ton yet because I'm trying to finish Donkey Kong before I really jump into that. But I have kind of dipped in out of that.
I gave in as well and picked that up with like last weekend, and I had never in my life played a Crash Bandicoot game until now.
Yeah, it's funny. Like I was a PlayStation 1 owner, and I've owned every PlayStation console, all 4 of them, but Crash, like I didn't really play that much when it had come out, but I did a little bit. But I'm really enjoying it. It's a really good port. I mean, it's a great deal for 3 games. I mean, they're tough as nails, but it's a lot of fun. But
do you think that they're tough as nails though because the games are hard, or do you think they're tough as nails because the controls are terrible,
or the levels are poorly designed?
I think Jesse. No, I don't know. Like I don't think the controls feel that bad. But I do think it's just it shows its age. Like, I mean, that was obviously in the early days of the 3D platforming and people and 3D gaming in general, and it really hadn't been figured out yet,
Right.
And this game, they kept true to all that. Like they kept pretty much the same controls and stuff. But yeah, I do think that. I think it's more tough because of its age than it is because it's not like Donkey Kong where Donkey Kong's just hard, Tropical Freeze. But yeah, I think it's mostly an age thing with that.
Yeah,
so.
I have heard that the second and third games are improvements over the first. The first one is
they are for sure.
It's just rough.
I've only played the first one so far on here, like a little bit of it, but I know the second, third games definitely. I believe the second one is kind of renowned to be like the best of the 3, but yeah, so that's been a lot of fun. And other than that, I talked about Fortnite last time we were on. That was a game that I really hadn't given a big chance to on PS4. I'd played a little bit, but since it came on Switch, I've just been hooked. Of course, Season 5 started today as we're recording. I picked up the Battle Pass, which I will say is totally worth it. That's been a lot of fun so far just because of the challenges, and it adds more to the game than you just like going trying to survive and kill other people, like with all the different challenges they give you.
Mm-hmm.
But the new map updates are awesome. Like it's been a lot of fun playing that some today. So.
Yeah, I've got to dive into that later. I haven't even updated it yet.
Yeah, they've totally changed the map up to where there's like portals you can go into that send you to another part of the map. And there's this whole new like desert area with like a go-kart course, and you can ride on these golf carts. Like it's awesome. It was a lot of fun. I played several games today, so yeah, it was definitely that's been a lot of fun. So
yeah, and obviously looking forward to Octopath Traveler that will be out today as you're hearing this. We'll talk about that here in just a little bit
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jesse, what about you? What have you been playing this week?
So I haven't been playing anything new, but the first thing I wanted to talk about was Pokemon Go. This last weekend had a few events. Saturday they had like an Articuno raid event. So like at between 1 and 4. So at 1 o'clock, almost every gym spawned an Articuno with a 3-hour timer. So just go get as many as you can get. So So I mentioned I found a local raiding group, so I kind of hung around with them most of the day. We ended up getting 7 Articunos I captured 2 of them. And on 6 of the 7, I had a lucky egg running, which doubles XP. So I made a crap ton of experience. So I was level 30 when that event started. I am now 32, so I've already jumped a level, which is hard to do in the 30s because you need a lot of experience to level. Then Sunday was a Squirtle event, the monthly community day, where if you go to parks or other public places, they have a specific Pokemon that spawns a lot, high shiny percentage rate, and normally has quests involving it. So when you spun a Pokestop, you normally get a field research. The researchers are always catch 5 Squirtle. So when you get a Squirtle, then the reward is, when you catch all 5 of them, the reward is another Squirtle spawn to catch, and that one has the sunglasses, like the old Squirtle Squad episode from season 1 of the anime. And I ended up getting a total of 57 Squirtle, of which 15 had sunglasses. 8 of them were shinies, and 3 of them were shiny sunglasses. And then as I evolve, when you evolve an event Pokemon, it keeps its event characteristics. So I have a Blastoise that is shiny with glasses. So that was fun, and got a lot of experience for that. And then the other game I've been playing, which it took me 9 months to finally get around to starting it, the Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga on the 3DS, which released early October last year. And so I don't know. I've tried playing the game in the past, and for some reason, never got into it. It just kind of never got caught on, never got interest. This time it clicked. Yeah, thanks, Marty. And and so I'm like 15 hours in. I'm in the final area. Where we now know it's normal for to have a reason to go back and do all the previous areas is to collect pieces of something. That's where I'm at in this game now. Of course, originally we didn't know that was going to be the pattern, but so that's
right. Yeah.
So I think this game is shorter than the other games. Just being a GBA also probably is the reason. So I'm not sure how long the game is total, but I'm like, again, I'm 15 hours in. I'll probably finish within before the next show, and then I'll probably go into Octopath Traveler.
Awesome. Yeah, I have that game. I've put some significant time into it and just shelved it because of other stuff. And I really need to get back to it and finish it. It was probably my favorite Mario and Luigi role-playing game from those days. So, as for what I've been playing 20XX, and you can go over and watch a video on our YouTube channel that I did with my impressions of that. If you are a Mega Man fan or a roguelike fan, this game is pretty much heaven for you. It's basically roguelike Mega Man X. So
it's heaven for you, except for maybe the X part.
Well, yeah, you're right. But you know what? I can overlook the X part because this game is just so darn good. Nice. The only criticism that I've seen of it, and I had this in the beginning too, was that some of the art is it's not bad, but it's kind of off. Especially like one of the promo images that they're using of the protagonist Nina has some weird, funky proportions to the arms and legs and stuff like that. But it's like I told somebody on another forum earlier this week. You don't let the art keep you from a good game, right? Because it plays fantastic, and it's worth sinking time into. And unlike a lot of roguelike games, like I'm playing it on normal difficulty, which is where, like the starting difficulty, you can progress pretty far into a run. There's not been a time, and maybe it's just because I click well with that type of game and I like Mega Man games so much, I've gotten good at them, but like I can get pretty far in a run every time I do it. It's not like I sit down and go, I've got 10 minutes, I'm going to play 20XX. It's like 45 minutes later, I'm still playing because I'm going through these levels and collecting things. So, but it's fantastic. And I think if obviously if you don't like Mega Man or you don't like roguelikes, then this is not for you. But what might be for you is a game I've picked up today and started playing. I've been playing Bomb Chicken by Nitrome that came out you'll be hearing this on Friday. It came out yesterday on the eShop, and it's a 2D puzzle platformer where you play a fat chicken who hatches bombs for eggs, and it's pretty insane. For some reason, you start out in this underground temple where you get made as an egg gets covered in like nitrous or some kind of weird chemical, and it hatches the bomb chicken, who then begins to go through these levels and collect gems. And at the end of each level, you make an offering to the chicken gods, to this big statue. And like if you've collected enough gems, it will give you another heart, which basically is a life. But the kind of where the sticking point is, there's no jump button. So if you need to get up onto a platform, you have to like poop out bombs and ride them to the top, and then like kind of flutter over.
Kind of like Metroid almost.
Yeah,
like you had to take the bombs up.
Yeah,
Metroid. Yeah.
But you don't ride the blast because the blast of your own bomb will kill you.
So I got you. I see
Yeah. So like you, there's a lot of very quick puzzle platforming. You know, like I've got to make this bomb stack high enough so that when this rotating buzzsaw comes around the corner and hits it, and it starts exploding up toward me, I'll still have enough time to get over the buzzsaw and into. And there's a ton of secrets. The controls are great, graphics are great, sounds great. I think everybody needs to play. I just love the irreverent sense of humor from it. But I said we would talk about Octopath Traveler, and the reason I wanted to do this was because I have started the demo that everybody else started, 2 weeks ago, the 3-hour demo that carries over. And I played the first demos with Olberic and Primrose, right? That was the one that was. Yeah. And like I liked it. It was good. Like I thought that it was okay, but it didn't really grab me. I got sucked into this game today, and I'm telling you that it was not on my purchase radar. But I'm going to GameStop in the morning to get the game.
Nice.
Like it's really, really good. I decided to start with Ophelia, the cleric.
Cool. Yeah.
And have been really pleasantly surprised so far by this game. I'm about an hour and 15 minutes into my playthrough of it, and have I don't know what the difference is. I don't know if it's just me seeing the fuller portion of the game or whatever, but like in the playthrough that I'm at, and I don't know who you picked in your first, who did you go with?
The Huntress. I can't remember exactly what her name is. It's kind of weird to pronounce.
No, that's the dancer.
Okay.
No, it's the one that has like an apostrophe in the name. It's
really, like Nani
or something like that. It's really weird.
Hannah,
that's who
Henty or something. Yeah,
something like that.
So like, I'm at the point where I've completed enough of Ophelia's first part of the story where I'm out on the map and I can see where your character is.
Yeah. See, that's funny because I've and I played the 3 hours, but Ophelia is the character that I went to her town and picked her up and joined my party and played part of her story. So yeah, and I like that 'cause she's really cool. Her character in that story is really neat.
So when you play, let me ask this. So like when you came and found Ophelia, you played the start of her story?
You can choose to do that or you cannot. And I did, and ended up fighting this boss that was like part of her story, that was like where the flame was that she talks about in there.
You fought like the guardian.
Yeah.
Like the ice golem.
Yep. Yeah. But you can choose not to start their story.
So if you do that, like do you abandon the character you're playing for just a minute?
You do at first, like, so you can kind of learn the story. But by the time I was fighting the guardian, we were back together and fighting.
Oh, see that, like that. I don't know. Like I had trouble with that fight.
It was hard. Yeah, I did too.
I did it with her alone.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I did it with Ophelia alone. But like I just like, I don't know if it's just that like I'm at a point like my summer has kind of calmed down from my work and everything, and we're kind of getting into the last bits of it that I'm not like responsible for a lot. Maybe it's that I'm like at a point where I can relax a little bit. But I really have sunk into this game, and I'm looking forward to it. I get the hype. It really gives me a Final Fantasy III vibe in a great way.
See,
and so I'm excited about that.
That's what's funny about where I'm coming from is that I've only really gotten into turn-based RPGs within the last year. Like I never played Final Fantasy 3 or Jesse 6. I played a little bit of Chrono Trigger. I did play Super Mario RPG growing up, but I never really got into the turn-based thing. But I just have in the last year. Like I got Mario Rabbids I loved, which is technically not turn-based RPG, but it has the turn elements in it. And I loved I Am Setsuna. And so it's funny. I'm going into this game without the nostalgia. I'm just really stoked for this game just because this is going to be the first like big turn-based RPG that
Sure.
I'm going to dive into. So
I grew up with turn-based RPGs. I played the original
Yeah.
Final Fantasies and
Yeah.
Dragon Quest, and Persona 3, 4, and 5 are turn-based. But and I Am Setsuna, I couldn't get into.
yeah,
I tried.
it was.
I tried
And I could
twice.
see that because
Much.
it was pretty simple. Yeah.
Well, let me say this, Zach. You owe it to yourself, if Octopath is done, to go back and play through Chrono Trigger.
Yeah, I will. Yeah,
Well,
that's on my
It is in my top 10 games of all time.
I've
And
been
I'm
wanting
going
to
to play
replay
Final
that.
Fantasy
Forever
6
stay
on,
there.
I'm going to play Final Fantasy 6 on the Super NES Classic too.
Oh yeah,
So, yeah, that's
And
definitely
look,
one that I'm going to do.
you owe it to yourself to find a little trick and play Final Fantasy 2 or 4 on there as well. Or was that 5?
4.
4. Yeah. Do the little trick and get Final Fantasy 2, 4 or whatever on there and play that one, because the story on it is phenomenal.
That's awesome.
Absolutely. That's what sucked me in. Like, I played the original Final Fantasy on NES and didn't really click with it, but then Final Fantasy 2 came out for the Super Nintendo, and I had a friend who just went berserk over
First one didn't have a very good story.
and so I was like, I've got to see what this is about. I've got to see what he's raving about, and played through the whole game, and it just, like, I fell in love with JRPGs then. But and like, it's been an on and off love affair, because Final Fantasy being what it is now, which is an abomination and an affront to anyone who grew up playing those types of games. I can't enjoy that anymore. And then you have kids, and then you move, like, you kind of move into a headspace or space in life where it's like, I've only got a few minutes. I can't follow this story.
Yeah.
Or I can't invest the time, but I think I'm going to make the sacrifice to invest in Octopath.
Yeah. And
tomorrow.
I think too,
I'm
like,
excited.
I've stayed away from reviews and stuff that came out today as much as possible, but like, a lot of people are getting this whole nostalgic vibe from it, and it is there. But like, the little bit I have read has said, like, yes, the nostalgia's there, but this definitely takes it beyond that and into a new direction for JRPGs.
Yeah, and I've just kind of got the policy for this game right now, but I'm not reading reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, because
like I said, I'm not either. So.
I read earlier the whole game has leaked to the internet, and so, like, Googling Octopath Traveler is done at your own risk.
Yeah. I'm just I'm just gonna get it tomorrow or today as you're listening to this, and just dive in and just.
I'm definitely getting it physical, so that if I do, like,
So
I
did
did
I.
Xenoblade Chronicles, where I played 2 hours of it and went, I don't have time for this.
I did the
can take
same
it back.
thing with Xenoblade. I was like, oh, okay, I'm never gonna get out of this tutorial.
Yeah,
And just that
I never
game
got
didn't
off the
grab
first
me.
pound.
Yeah, me either. That game just didn't grab me. So.
No. Looked great, and I'm glad for the people who loved it. But
Yeah.
well, guys, that's what we've been playing this week. At this time, let's move on to some news.
Okay.
And our news is brought to us by patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, where for as little as $1 a month, you can help us out creating great Nintendo and family-friendly content along with the Nintendo Dads, and help make the world a better place. I want to stop right here, and I want to talk for just a minute about a post that was put up on our Patreon earlier this week, and just kind of make this disclosure to all of the listeners of the show. If you're not a patron, you may have seen allusions to this on our Twitter and Facebook and social media presence. But unfortunately, due to some life changes and due to some other things, Zach Erickson is going to have to step away from his hosting duties of the show here. And I hate that, mainly because I've always enjoyed being on the show with Zach. But I do understand that there are things that he has to do, and there are things that you have to do sometimes as a dad, as a man, as an adult, to where you don't get to do all that you want to do with your hobby anymore. And so we are in the process here at the Nintendo Dads headquarters of making some changes and doing some things. And we're still going to be here. Justin's still going to be around. Jesse's still going to be around. I'm still going to be around. Maybe somebody else is still going to be around. I don't know. But all of that will be revealed in the upcoming weeks and months. And guys, we just ask that you would bear with us as we try to navigate through this change as well. Zach is a great friend. He has been an awesome voice on the show, and he's still going to be around. In fact, Zach's role is changing in Nintendo Dads to be more aligned with our video content. And so I'm looking forward to what we're going to get from him there. And so you'll be able to find him over on YouTube. And of course, he's always going to be on Twitter and everything exactly where he's been. And he, will talk to you guys just the same. And we'll even be on the show from time to time when his schedule allows it. And all of this is due to the fact that Zach is succeeding as an adult. He's succeeding at being a father and a provider for his family and all that. And Zach, we wish you the best. And just watch our YouTube channel and everything else for some more announcements coming in the next few days. Speaking of announcements, let's get right into the news here. The first announcement we want to talk about, or the first piece of news that we want to bring up, is that earlier tonight, NintendoEverything.com posted a quick blurb about Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, in that it seems as though Smash Ultimate will require 16 gigabytes of space on your Nintendo Switch. And so before that rumor spirals out of control, I just wanted to take a few minutes and kind of address that. And I'll just start by saying this. I don't think there's any way that's going to happen. What do you guys think?
Go ahead, Jesse. No, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, Nintendo, as we've said, is really good at keeping things optimized, and they have their own engines. They don't use middleware very often. So if the thing is 16 gigs, I'll be surprised.
That's exactly why I said that. What are some of the, like Mario Tennis Aces was just like 2 gigs, right? And I think some of their bigger, Odyssey was, I'm trying to remember what, Jesse, do you remember what Odyssey was?
That might have been closer to 10-ish, maybe not that much. I can look real quick while you continue on.
Yeah, so 5.7 gigabytes. I just looked it up. And so, if Odyssey was 5.7 gigabytes, I can't see Smash being above 6, 7, maybe 8, right? Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in there, but Odyssey was pretty expansive. Breath of the Wild was what, 6?
Yeah.
I think somewhere around there. So,
just 2.2.
Breath of the Wild was 2.2.
Yeah.
Okay. So so there you go. I can't see this being. If you think that it's going to be 16 gigabytes, write in, tweet us, email us, tell us what you think is going to take up all that space.
The biggest game I have is Ys 8 at 14.2.
Yeah, but what's the biggest first party game you have?
Odyssey at 5.3.
There you go. And it's not even 5.7. It's like the article says, 5.3. So if you think it's going to take 16 gigabytes, you email us, write in, call in. You'll hear all that later on in the show. Tell us what you think. Tell us why you think it's going to be that. I don't know. No way. Yeah, I don't think it's going to happen.
We'll find out when pre-purchases become available.
That is true.
This is also one of those things, in my opinion. And Marty, you and I talked about this when we had dinner a few weeks ago. And so I'm not talking to you at this, but I think this is one of those things that I think people kind of overblow. Like personally for me, I have a 200 gigabyte memory card, and I actively delete games off my Switch just because I don't want to have choice paralysis anyway. So to me, when people complain about the size of games, I'm just kind of you don't need 40 games on your system all the time unless you don't have internet. I get it. You and I talked about that.
Right.
But but either way, there's no way this is going to be 16 gigs.
And at this point, let's say this too. If you have a Switch and you don't have a micro SD card in it, how are you still surviving?
Right.
Yeah.
I wanted to backtrack a little bit. I forgot that I had Breath of the Wild as a cart because I don't normally have carts. That's the only card I have. So that 2.2 gig is just the save data and the updates. So ampersand FB in the chat says it's 13.4 gig.
I was going to say I thought it was
13.4 gig. Okay, so that is let's backtrack and say this. That's definitely the biggest Nintendo or first party game that exists on the Switch. The largest first party game. Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, it earns those 13 gigs, right?
Absolutely.
Thanks for the correction, man. I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
But speaking of Smash, let's talk about this, and let's talk about the elephant in the room. So, Nintendo, of course, dropping it when it dropped the Smash news. Of course, we knew we were getting Inkling Girl as a new character. We then found out we're getting Ridley, as well as returning characters like Ice Climbers and Wolf and Pichu. Now, Nintendo has dropped the news this week that new Smash Amiibo will be out on December 7th, along with the game. The first wave will consist of Inkling Girl and Ridley, along with newcomer Wolf or returning challenger Wolf, at a price point of $15.99 each. Now, I'm just going to ask this question, and I'm going to step back, and I'm going to let you guys talk for a few minutes before I give you my opinion. Like, why are these Amiibo $15.99? And like, what is your feeling on this?
Ridley, I can see because it's a pretty detailed sculpt from what I've seen. Unless if all of them end up being extra detailed first, because if you look back at the first run, it was very not detailed, very minimalistic in the textures used. But we have seen over the years that they've improved their process. Like if you look at the Breath of the Wild Amiibo, a lot of them are looking amazing. So I'm thinking that's why. Kind of a joke answer is now that Toys R Us isn't around to upcharge the Amiibo, Nintendo's just going to upcharge to everybody.
Yeah, I mean, I really think, like, not necessarily Toys R Us, but I don't know if it may just be a price increase, like just for them to make a little more revenue.
But they did. They also announced that they're going to re-release previous Amiibo, keeping the original $12.99 price point.
Yeah, and that's why, like, just the whole price increase or permanent price increase across the board, I don't see that. And so I'm going to be real honest up front here. And I guess I'm going to finally come clean and say this after waffling back and forth on it, since 2014. I hate Amiibo. I really do. Like, as a concept, Amiibo is a lame duck, and it has failed at what it was created to do. And people can sit there and argue and say, well, it was created to make money. And yes, I agree with you, it was. But if you look back to the inception of Amiibo and the original fervor for these, the only time that there was actually fervor for these was because of two reasons. Number one, Nintendo had never created high quality collectibles of its own IP. We had the World of Nintendo Jakks Pacific thing, brewing at the time. But the only thing that they were doing with with Nintendo licenses when Amiibo came out was Mario toys. Later on they would go on to do Zelda and Smash and Star Fox and all kinds of other things, and Animal Crossing, Splatoon. They did all of those, right? And since then we've had like Nindoroids and the figure arts Mario and Luigi line come along, which of course you have to import. But Amiibo were a huge deal for the fact that Nintendo was actually producing collectibles of its own IP. The second reason was the fervor about them was because they were simply underproduced, right? Nintendo had no clue. Yeah. Nintendo had no clue, had no clue about how to do production on these in the beginning, and that's why you had the great Marth debacle, of late 2014, early 2015, and so like. If you've noticed over like the last year or so, the demand for these things has gone way down. Like the only Amiibo right now that I would say is hard to find, period, is the purple squid Inkling Splatoon 2 version. I can't find that anywhere. I never saw it on store shelves. But if you look back in the almost year and a half life of the Switch, up until now, they have not announced $15.99 as a set price point for Amiibo going forward. Yes, Zelda Amiibo were $15.99. I get that. But since then, they've put out a whole Splatoon line. They've put out brand new entries in the Mario Brothers line. They've put out two. They've put out two new Fire Emblem Amiibo, and they've put out the only other Amiibo they've put out past that. Or no, let's go back. The Wedding Amiibo for Odyssey. All of those were $12.99, and the detail on those is ridiculous. Like, I don't know. I mean, Jesse, you've got Tiki, right?
Yep.
Fire Emblem waifu right there. Have you looked at that Amiibo? I mean, I know it's still in the package for you, but
I haven't looked at it recently.
I mean, it's extremely detailed. Chrom is extremely detailed. The Odyssey Wedding Amiibo are extremely detailed. So, like, knowing what I know about toys from collecting Transformers, the money is not in the details. The money is not in the sculpt. The money is in the paint apps. And that's why when you would look at Transformers and you would see the Hasbro release versus the Takara release in Japan, the Takara release would always have like better colors and more paint and all kinds of things. And it's because they knew that their audience was willing to spend a little bit more on quote unquote toys, right? And so I kind of don't buy that. Well, they're more detailed.
I don't either.
Because like Detective Pikachu, the only reason he was $30 was because he was a giant freaking hunk of plastic, right? I mean,
Yeah.
he's
Was he that
enormous.
much?
Yeah, it was $30.
I don't remember how much I spent on that.
At Toys R Us, it was like $25 or $30. But if you think back, like even the Samus and Metroid Amiibo that came out, that 2-pack together was $30, or maybe it was $24.99. I don't know. So it's going more toward that $12.99 price point. And I'm just going to say this: Amiibo for Smash, with the functionality they have and the zero functionality they have in any other game, they're not worth $15.99. They're not. And if you don't if you disagree with me, come fight me, bro. And I say that jokingly. I don't want to fight. I'm very non-confrontational. But I just don't I don't get it. Like maybe it's me growing up. Maybe it's me becoming adulting better or whatever. But for $12.99, maybe, right? For $16, I have to kind of take a pause, and I have to say it becomes something that's this is cool and I'd like to have it. It goes from this is cool and I'm going to buy it to this is cool and I'd like to have it, but
see, but I think that there's two things I want to say about it. For one, I think that to me personally, I think that the reason they're doing it is because of what you mentioned. You named all these lines they've done before, and all these, how they were doing a lot more Amiibo and how they're not doing as much now. I think that's part of the reason why they've gone price, because they're not making as many lines, as many Amiibo now. So they've just raised the price a little bit to kind of make up for volume. The other thing is that you might not buy it, you might not like it, but the people who are really into it, it's not going to be a big deal for them to spend $3 more. That guy y'all had on your show last week who said he buys 2 of every Amiibo, 1 to show, 1 to go. I guarantee you that he's not going to pause at paying a couple more bucks. And so I think that they know they can just get away with charging a little more because they're making less overall. And it's just, to me, it's a business practice.
I think that to kind of take off of what you said, I think they know it's going to be okay because they know they've got you over a barrel. Because if you've collected the entire Smash line,
yeah, exactly.
Well, sure, you've got to have. But let me ask.
And that's the person Amiibo's going after at this point, not casual people.
Yeah. So let me ask this, and this question too for all the people who are listening. If you say Ridley is worth $15.99, and he very may well be because of detail, how is that argument going to hold up when Pichu comes out? True. How's that argument going to hold up when Ice Climbers come out? Because Pichu's going to be tiny, okay? You remember how, imagine them trying this now with the original Kirby amiibo, which was basically just a ball with 2 other balls attached to it.
Yeah.
Sitting down. That's not $16, right? And the thing is that if it's a collectible, like if it's just a statue or a toy or something, like and I say this knowing I want to show you all this. This is the Mega Man figure that I bought this week. All right, you see my thumb? You see how big Mega Man is? Like there was no like I don't do sizing well, you know, when I buy things, and I was like, oh yeah, it's $11. Yeah, that's $11 right there, folks. Okay, imported from Japan, but and so see, but can I honestly tell you what I said? Oh, it's okay, it's Mega Man. Right.
Yeah.
But and so you know, like some people might say, well, you just need to say that about Amiibo. You just need to say about, but where I have the problem with it is that Amiibo still feels like a half thought out idea. Like it still feels like the egg that's kind of hatched, but it hasn't fully developed yet. Or to borrow another illustration, it feels like the butterfly that somebody helped the caterpillar out of the cocoon so its wings didn't get fully formed. And so now it's just like kind of like flopping around on the deck, and you're like, oh, I feel sorry for that.
That's awfully specific.
Yeah. Well, it's because I think it's, you know, I don't know. That's where my mind goes. But
this ultimately doesn't
like,
change my perspective on Amiibo. You know,
but so, you've not bought them all. Like you've not been a collector.
Right. I collect only the ones that I think are interesting. So like of the ones that came out on pre-order today, Ridley is the only one I'm throwing money at. The others can go away.
And I'm not saying they don't look nice. They do. The Ridley sculpt is great. The Wolf sculpt is fantastic. Like it just, but my thing is this, like I already have like shelves at Toys R Us's before they got cleaned out were clogged with old Inkling Girl amiibos, you know, from the first Splatoon. What makes this one worth $3 more than that one? Because you know it works the same way.
Well, that's what I'm saying though, is that I think you're looking at it too much from like all the stuff you know about toys, and that it's like the way you're looking at it is it's not costing them more. And I get that, but I don't think that's the way they're looking at it. I really think it's just a price increase for them to make more revenue.
Well, and it may be,
and that they know that people will pay a little more, you know, and it has nothing to do with the quality of it, you know, or that it's more detailed. Like I don't think that, and I can see from a consumer standpoint from where you're at, like you feel like if you're going to pay a few more bucks that you should get a few more bucks worth of value. But I really think that it's just a price increase to make more revenue. You know, I mean, that's just my opinion, you know?
Yeah. I mean, like, and I feel like we give Nintendo a pass on a lot of things, right? That like this, like, oh, they've done another 3DS or they've done another 2DS or they've gone up on the price of this, you know, like, or like tomorrow or today, as you're hearing this, not only did Captain Toad and Octopath came out, but the adjustable charging stand is coming out as well and it's like $20, you know, like, and that's a pretty hefty price for what that thing is. Basically, it's like, it's a thing that lets you plug your cord into your Switch and charge it at the same time while it's standing up. And it's like, that's something they should have already had, you know, or
it's got a charger built onto it. But I still know what you're saying though.
Yeah. And so like, I guess what I'm saying is that I don't know why it's stuck in my craw like this, but I just can't give them a pass on this. That $15.99 price is just really has rubbed me the wrong way. And it's rubbed me the wrong way so bad I may go cancel my pre-orders for Ridley and Wolf.
I was gonna say that,
full disclosure, they're already pre-ordered. I already did it, but like the longer that I sit here and I think about it, like and see, I am that guy who's over the barrel. I guess that's why I'm mad about it. I am the guy who's over the barrel. I have the entire Smash line, except for the Mii fighters. I have them all, and like there's this compulsion. Like this is how bad it is. I bought the Bayonetta amiibo, you know, the last Smash amiibos, Bayonetta and Cloud, and I've never used them. I took them out of the package, I put them with my other amiibo in a box, and said, "There, I'm done." and it was just so I could be done, because that lingering completionist Transformer collector, even though I don't collect those anymore, that lingering completionist still is inside of me. It's still there.
I just love how you proved my point, because you complained about price and then said you've already got them pre-ordered.
Well, then basically
like,
what
don't buy them if they're too expensive.
I just proved that I'm a Nintendo fan, because that's all we've done since the Switch has come out, right?
And that is why Nintendo can go to $15.99 from $12.99. That's it.
Because we're going to buy it
because
anyway.
People are going to buy them. So
yeah.
By the way, go ahead.
I
was going to change the subject slightly, so you go ahead first.
So here's what I'm hoping. Okay, so if this is going to be the new thing, it's like, well, any amiibo connected to a Switch game is now going to be $15.99, right?
Yeah.
I just hope that it's not something that's going to make them just sit on shelves, because there's nothing sadder, than walking into a dead and decaying Toys R Us and seeing like 14 racks of 5 deep Palatino amiibos for $2.99 that nobody's ever going to buy.
Yeah.
It's also possible it might just be the Smash 2.0 line. Other expansions to the Mario line or Zelda line may still keep the $12.99 price.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I was just hoping that they would still stick with that $12.99 price again, because I don't feel like they've ever fully delivered on. And we were talking about this on the in the Discord earlier too, about like, we've mentioned before here on the show, it's a couple of times the desire for like a World of Nintendo game, that uses those figures. And I guess that's kind of where I get it from. Like, if I bought a $15.99 Skylander back in the day, or a $12.99 Skylander back in the day, it wasn't just like an in-game heart or an in-game coin I got from it. It was an actual physical playable character once I put it in the game, and it had a personality, and I could level it up, and it meant, like, I had favorite Skylanders, when I played with my son, and I'd always want to be those, and it meant something, and these, they feel a little hollow.
Then also coming out tomorrow, which I have pre-ordered and so they'll be delivered tomorrow, is the Pearl and Marina amiibo.
Oh yeah, they are. Speaking of amiibo, Pearl and Marina out tomorrow for those of you who still who care. There you go. Who want
also,
more
real quick, just before we get off the toy thing, because this isn't on the dock for news, but did you see that they have announced a Pokemon Funko Pop is coming out?
I did. Funko now holds the Pokemon license.
Yeah, there's been some rumors going around that this Pokemon might not be the only Nintendo Funko Pops that get made. So there's some rumors going around that Nintendo might license more of their stuff. So that could be interesting. So we'll have to wait and see.
Pokemon licensing and other Nintendo licensing are different because they're different holding companies, but at least one would be a foothold into the other.
Yeah. So, and it's just something else people are going to want to collect.
All I'm going to say is, don't you put that bad juju on me, Ricky Bobby. Don't you do it. Don't you do it, because if they make like a Mario Funko Pop, oh my gosh. As I'm looking at like this little video game shelf of toys I have in my office, and it's got like, some Pixel Pals and Mega Man Nindoroid and some Amiibo, and I've got all the Mega Man Funko Pops they've made so far. And I don't collect Funkos at all, but I had to get the Mega Man.
I don't collect them either, but I have double the Funkos that I have Amiibo. I have 2 Funko Pops which are gifted to me, including Macho Man Randy Savage. So.
Oh yeah.
Now I need a Macho Man Randy Savage Funko Pop.
I want a Slim Jim now.
I have that one, and then I have Jamie Benn from the Dallas Stars hockey team.
Nice. So. I also used to have, which one did I have? I had young Bruce Wayne from Gotham. It came in one of our 1-Up boxes. That is fantastic.
There's Randy Savage.
Ooh, yeah. I've got a few over there, but I can't see what's back there.
Randy Savage. Oh, stop! Because the Amazon is strong with me. I'm gonna have to get over there. Moving on. I wanted to talk for just a minute for us to talk just a minute about a topic that was suggested by a member of our community, Michael Burgett. He brought it to my attention today that WWE 2K19 is going to be skipping the Switch this year due to sales and performance issues with 2K18. And so basically in other words, you're going to see an Xbox One, a PS4 release of the game, but no Nintendo Switch version this year.
Thank God.
2K18 was a horribly buggy mess on the Switch, but and really was something they didn't even really try to address or fix. They said they did. They issued some patches.
Put out a lot of patches, but they're terrible.
None of it ever went anywhere. Is this a big deal? Or is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? You think that they're skipping? Because I mean, I think that what I worry about is it setting a precedent for other franchises or other games.
Well, that game, I think it's good they're not doing it if they're not going to do it right. Because I will say that, I follow a couple this one YouTuber in particular who did a whole bunch of videos on that. And just shred, because that game literally runs at 12 frames per second. I mean, if you haven't seen this, go look it up.
Oh, it's bad.
It's so bad. And here's what really bugs me about it is I always see that game on sale, at Best Buy or on the eShop, and I'm like, it should not even be available. It's that bad. It's embarrassing.
You know what? Here's the crazy part. I went in my GameStop this week. They had a brand new copy of the game for $19.99. They had a used copy for $29.99.
It's, I mean, it's
somebody's getting not only is the person buying it new getting a terrible deal, the person who buys it used is getting a really terrible deal.
It is so, and they tried patching it several times, and it's just, if they're not going to do it right, then don't put it out again because it's embarrassing and it just will look like a cash grab. And the Switch, it didn't run well on any system, to be honest with you. I don't know, from what I understand,
we
PS4
have
and
it for
Xbox had
PS4
issues too.
And you're right. It does not. Yeah, it's not.
But
great.
the Switch, it's an embarrassment on the Switch. It's so bad. I don't. I'm
going to say something here. As a wrestling fan, I'm going to say something here that wrestling games were better when they didn't try to be simulations.
Yeah.
Right.
When it was SmackDown versus Raw, and it was you could do 20 clotheslines in a row and Brock Lesnar hits 15 F5s and then the match is over in 30 seconds. That's what I want.
A winner is you.
Wrestling game.
You're going old school. Yeah. I'm WCW versus NWO and then No Mercy.
Yeah,
all the N64 games.
If we could get back to that would be fantastic.
Yeah. But
No Mercy came out when I was in college, and we used to make our college professors, and we used to put them in extreme hardcore matches, put them through tables give me a bad grade, put them through the table, hit them with a cane, 50-minute match. We're just beat the crap out of them.
Do we know how well? Say,
go ahead.
I hope they figure this out because it would be a fun game to have on the Switch if it worked. And I looked at it, and then when I saw
that it doesn't work.
Yeah, absolutely. And so hopefully they figure it out because that is a fun series, and I would rather play that on Switch than on PS4. So, hopefully they figure it out.
Do we know if NBA 2K18 ran better? Because apparently,
yes,
there is
I
going to be.
I had that game.
There is going to be a 2K19 for NBA.
Yeah, that game actually ran really well. It was a little buggy at first. But it ended up running. I ended up trading in just because I kind of got bored with it, but it ran really well. So that game justifies having a 19.
The patches have really helped it on the Switch.
For sure.
And I'm glad that they put the time and effort in to fix it. But I don't think this is I don't want to say it's cause for alarm for Switch owners, but I do think that it's something that you got to be careful of. There's certain games right now that we're seeing that. Here's what I don't understand. How can they do such a horrible job with that game and Panic Button can get Doom and Wolfenstein 2
I know.
Switch?
Yeah,
they need to be calling Panic Button to help them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is down on the publisher. It's how much effort they're willing to put, give the developers time and money to do what they need to do. So right now, this seems to be a 2K thing more than a Nintendo Switch thing. Just like last generation, EA said, here's this game for the Wii U, and like didn't even try, and didn't sell. I'm not going to do it anymore. Take my ball and go home.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't want it to end up being one of those things where it just like, well, we skipped it this year and now we're just going to keep skipping it. Right? Because this was the first time 2K Wrestling had been on a Nintendo console in a long time.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully they figure it out because, like I said, I would love to have it on the console. So
it would be great because like the creator wrestler, and that's always one of the things I'm super interested in because I make the same character in every wrestling game. It's a character that I've kept making throughout all of them, and there was like the character creation was just like I did it on vacation while we were on vacation at the beginning of May, and I wasted an entire morning just on like a attire and a basic move set. That's how deep the character creation.
Oh, it's crazy. Yeah.
Like, and I'm like, I'm like, I love that you want us to have all these options, but like, I don't need 50 options for teeth. Like, I really don't. Just throw some teeth in the digital character's head and let's move on. I don't know. Speaking of moving on, let's move on to our next news topic. Nintendo announced this week that more updates for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are coming.
This is the one you and I have been waiting on. We've talked about this.
Can we slow clap it out?
Yeah.
Is this the one where you're going to let you play as Lakitu with the fishing pole from Labo?
I don't care what they do. Right now, I don't care if I was playing from if I was playing as the third Bush from the start of Super Mario Brothers. I want more Super Mario. I want more Mario Kart 8 content. And here's the thing. I'm going to tell you this before anybody says this. If you sit there and you say it should be free, go sit down somewhere. Go sit down somewhere and get rid of your Switch and get rid of Mario Kart 8. It's not going to be free. Number one, they're going to charge you for this. But why should it be free?
Yeah.
I saw somebody arguing about this on the MVC forums earlier on Facebook. Like, it should be free because Mario Kart 8 is still one of their best-selling titles. That's exactly why it's not going to be free.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But I'm going to tell you, you've got a game already, right? Where you've got 48 tracks, battle mode, characters out the wazoo. I'm so excited about this. And I don't think that this is just the way they said it. I don't think it's just going to be like a Labo, integration. I think it's going to be something. You know what I really want it to be? I want one of the characters to be the Labo robot made out of cardboard in a cardboard car.
That'd be awesome.
That would be funny.
Nintendo, let's do it. I want, let's go even further. I want Snip and Clip from Snip Clips in a car. I want it in Mario Kart. Come on.
And
that'd be awesome.
If they collide with another car, they lose part of their car.
Yes. That's what I'm talking about. And I'm going to tell you the first thing we're going to get, though. Okay? You're getting a Splatoon track.
Yeah.
It's already been in battle mode. You're getting a Splatoon track. It's going to happen. It's going to be freaking fantastic. And I would honestly, I would bet that first DLC pack drops this year.
Yeah. I kind of have a feeling that could be like a next Nintendo Direct type thing. And
oh yeah.
Yeah. And I'm with you. Like, anyone who is complaining about it being free, like, I mean, come on, like get over your entitlement. I'm sorry. Like, just
you know what I can see them doing though, Zach, is doing something like with the first Mario Kart 8 DLC, where if you pre-purchase it or you bought it, you got all the Yoshi colors and you got all the Shy Guy colors. I would like to see them do something like that. Maybe add more Inkling colors or do something else. Like, and I know this is going to go against what we've already talked about in the show, but I'm going to say it: more amiibo costumes. I've already bought all those figures. Let's
just want to use them.
Yeah, I just want to use them. Let's get some more. That'd be great.
I can definitely see a Splatoon course. I could also see them doing something with Mario Odyssey, maybe like they're doing with Captain Toad.
A new
I mean, there's
City track
yeah.
would be fantastic.
You know, I've there's already rumors going around about it, but I'm not listening to any of them because they're probably not going to be true. But,
No.
But like there was a rumor going around that like some of the characters, like they were gonna have Birdo, but there was one about it being Cappy being a character. I was like, I don't know about that.
How would that work?
Yeah, I don't know how that would work, but who knows? But I'm either way. This is something I'm really excited about. Like, and I definitely hope that this is real and that it's not like. And that they don't say this and it ends up being like Jesse said, like you can use the fishing rod now or something. Like,
Yep.
I hope that it's like legit, like some DLC. Like,
If they're going to give us Birdo, all I'm going to say is I need Wiggler. I got to have Wiggler. That was my dude back. Was he 3DS? I believe Wiggler's on the 3DS.
I think so.
Yeah, that's my guy. I need Wiggler. And honestly, it would not bother me at all if we got a completely bonkers Waluigi inspired stage. While we're at it, let's just have the optional Waluigi kart mode. But that would probably be just where they would erase him from the game and pretend like he didn't exist. Anyway, moving on. Let's hope all that happens except for the Waluigi part. Hey guys, Splatfest is this weekend, right? If you're playing Splatoon 2 still, watch out. And also announced today the Anchovy stage will be added back to, or Anchovy Olympics stage will be added back to Splatoon, which is one that people really enjoyed from the first game. But the Splatfest coming up this weekend is Squids versus Octolings. And even if you have not finished the Octo expansion, you will be able to play as an Octoling if you pick that team. Wow, I wonder which team is going to win Splatfest.
That's what I was about to say.
This is the most obvious, like, pre-win ever.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, I will be shocked if I get into one game against Squids.
Get ready for a weekend of people on Twitter are complaining about only fighting Octolings.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
Yeah,
it's coming. All right, but I'm gonna jump in. I'm excited. I can't wait.
Same here. I'm stoked. I love Splatfest. So
I do too. It's my favorite part of Splatoon. I need more. But you know what? It always falls on a weekend that's super inconvenient for me. So that means
are there any convenient weekends?
No,
yeah, right?
No, that's what I was going to say. It obviously means that because it inconveniences me only, Nintendo needs to change it. Here's what I wish they would do, though. Honestly, make it a 2-night thing. Make it Friday night and Saturday night over to Sunday.
I think
make it a whole weekend so that if you can't do something on Saturday, you don't miss it entirely. Right?
I totally agree with that.
I think that's the
Uh-oh.
Whoops.
Did we lose Marty?
Definitely froze.
Let me catch a time stamp on this.
So
what's your tag? You can watch for us.
Are you back?
Watch for.
You fell off for a while.
Zach, you there?
Yeah, you froze. So
Sorry.
we were just kind of.
I was asking you what's your Switch tag? What's your name on there?
Oh, Empty Zach.
Empty Zach. So, and Jesse, we know hates Splatoon, so he won't be playing.
Yeah.
No, it's not his favorite game. Well, guys, that's our news for this week. We are going to move into our community spotlight time. So let's go there right now.
Okay.
All right, guys, welcome back. Community Spotlight is a time on the show where we are going to highlight questions or comments or topics from our Twitter and live chat, if you're there, on other social media that we can maybe answer or talk about here on the show. And so look for this as a weekly segment here for a few weeks. We're trying it out as something that we might be adding to the show. And we asked earlier on Twitter, what's something that you would like us to talk about, or what's a question you would like us to answer, and got a great response. And so we're going to go through some of these to round out the show today. The first one comes from Engaged Family Gaming, and he wanted us to talk for a minute about the news item that came up this week about Nintendo wanting to see between 20 to 30 indie releases per week on the Switch. And so, Zach, well, let's start with you, because I read that and your eyebrows shot up, and you started to chuckle. So tell us what you think about this.
Yeah, I'm getting worried for the eShop. I mean, it's it seems like the quality control is not really there as we would want it to be. And before I buy games, I definitely, do a lot of research and stuff, but I think for a lot of like casual, like people who maybe don't follow things as much as we do, I mean, it's going to be kind of overwhelming going to the eShop and knowing what's good and what's not. And that's a problem, there's already been some pretty poor games that have come to the eShop, but now, like, I don't know, just some of the stuff coming on there, that's a lot of games. And like I said, the fact that they haven't been doing the best quality control is just kind of scary in my opinion,
Yeah.
So I don't know really. I don't know if it's really a positive. I mean, I don't think it'll ever get as bad as Steam, but like if you look at Steam, it's a nightmare, and they got big issues over there, and I don't want Nintendo even scratching the surface of anything like that.
Yeah. It comes across as a bit of doublespeak, right?
Yeah.
When you hear this, like we want 20 to 30 indie titles a week. And then you've got Damon Baker, in that very first Nindies Direct, talking about how they curate and how they only put in like top tier indie games. And like, I feel like that was true at first. And I feel like that was a line that they were giving us because they wanted us to know that the indie games were coming out like Shovel Knight and other games were like really quality games, right? And then the Switch got popular. And it's like, now every indie is knocking on Nintendo's door saying, hey, let's get our game on the Switch. And it seems even more doublespeak when you think about all the problems that Thomas Happ had with getting Axiom Verge on the Switch. Like that they got turned down. They got denied to be in the eShop at first. And so I can't imagine an eShop where 20 to 30 games come out a week. I just like that my brain can't handle that, because if that happens, then if Nintendo wants to do that, I get it. There needs to be a major eShop redesign immediately before that ever starts happening.
Absolutely.
Right, because the recent list only shows the top 60. So if they go 30 a week, a game comes out 2 weeks later, it's gone. And the only way to find it is to either know about it, to search for it, or do what very few people do and actually say, view all, and here's a list of 850 games.
Yeah.
We're like, whoa.
Yeah, I'm fine with there being good games on the console and there being a good steady flow of games on the console. Don't get me wrong. But if it's going to be like, shovelware crap fest every week, we have to wade through magical witch girl on a motorcycle to get to the good stuff, then I don't know. Like, this does not give me a good feeling, and Nintendo needs to prove that wrong.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Maybe
you have to go.
I don't know. Hopefully that was like mistranslated or something. Maybe it's like 20 to 30 a month. I could get that.
Yeah, I mean, because you're gonna have to swim through 15 mobile game ports before you can even get to anything good. And you're right. Like, and from a developer standpoint, what Jesse brought up, there's only 60 games on there, so it's like once all these games come out, you're gonna get your visibility's gone. And the only way for you to get any visibility, people see your game, is to either be on the bestseller list or put your game on sale, which is why you see a lot of the same indie games always on sale all the time, because those developers have figured out that's how they get visibility in the eShop.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, this kind of practice is not even happening on the Xbox One or PS4.
Yeah.
I get that Nintendo is positioning itself as like the indie destination, and it should, because like the Wii U was what uncovered my love for indie games or indie games, right? You know, like several great games I played through on the Wii U, but and the Switch having a lot of those portable is fantastic. But like there's the other problem with that too is that there's Nindies that have been announced that we've known about for a year now that still haven't come out. Wargroove, 1001 Spikes, Hyper Light Drifter. Where are these games? Right? Concentrate on helping them get these games out.
Wasn't there one called Zarvot that was originally announced for Wii U?
Yeah.
That's still on our future games list in the bottom.
And there's one called Bad North that I'm super excited about. It's like the Viking roguelike puzzle game or whatever. Like I'm super excited about that, like real-time strategy, whatever. And we've seen hide nor hair of that since it was announced. However, I'm going to put this out here like as a PSA, like, because I think this is a game to watch. I noticed in the eShop on the coming soon that Sausage Sports Party is coming on the 19th of this month, and I cannot be more excited for this game. Do you guys know what this game is?
I don't.
Didn't we talk about?
Okay.
Didn't we talk about that once before?
Yeah.
It showed up on an Indies Direct.
Yeah, like it is a game about super elongated animals trapped on a sports-themed game show where they compete against each other in like party games.
Okay, that sounds pretty cool.
I think,
and like it's like taking the concept of a wiener dog, but it's a parrot, or it's like a skunk, or it's a giraffe, and like I
awesome.
cannot, like the very first time I saw it, I was like, I have to have that right now. I need it today, and I'm so excited that it's finally coming out. But yeah, like I just don't have a good feeling about
all these games coming out at once. Doesn't really affect us all that much, just because we do get the weekly Nintendo download PR, so we can look at it in a nice list and figure out what games we want to cover and which ones we don't. But most people don't have that. All they have is to look at the eShop or to listen to shows like us, and if we choose to not talk about a game, they don't know about the game.
That's right. Let's move on to the next one. That guy Chad brought this topic up, the rumored July 22nd Nintendo Direct, and that Simon Belmont may be revealed in Smash. I have not heard this rumor, but oh my gosh, am I excited that it's making the rounds.
This is where the 22nd Direct is where I heard the Mario Kart stuff about Cappy and all that earlier. So
have they ever had a weekend Direct? Because
it's on a Sunday. That's what makes it kind of weird.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Totally not going to happen. Maybe Monday, maybe. It's usually like Tuesday, right? Tuesday or Thursday?
Well, okay. How about that? If someone... Yeah, normally it's later in the week, but I could see that being put out in Japan on Monday, which would still be Sunday our time.
Yeah.
But again, they've never done that before.
See,
I would love it.
I don't think they've
if Simon Belmont was in Smash. I would love it if this was true, but I don't think so.
I didn't hear that. Like the rumor thing I saw, it was actually from like the 9th or 10th or something, and they actually predicted the Funko Pop thing before it was announced and the Mario Kart thing before it was announced. But then at the same time, they also predicted like that Final Fantasy VII was coming to Switch. It's like that game's not coming to. That game's probably not even coming to PS4, Xbox One. So
that game's being developed by the same people who proudly bring you 13 years later Kingdom Hearts 3.
It also said Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming to Switch. I'm like, no, it's not. No way.
No, it's not.
So I don't know. And in fact, it's a Sunday. What Jesse said could be true because of the time, but I don't know. But I guess we'll see. But you know, rumors are going to start swirling about Directs, so there'll be all kinds of crazy stuff going around.
Yeah,
so.
I got you. And I think that coincides too. Some of those rumors and the swirling coincides with the fact that Kimishima basically said, or let it slip. Hey, they've not shown you everything yet. The fall still has to be revealed. Who knows what that means? Hey, Delta Don, or at the Delta Don over on Twitter, says Nintendo doesn't show all their cards at once. What are some potential titles that have yet to be announced coming out later this year / early next year or weren't good enough for E3 / they wanted to have momentum in addition to E3. Think that's Star Fox Racer. So basically, what he's asking is, what do you think some of these unannounced titles might be?
The fall is pretty packed. I mean, Pokemon and Smash are big games.
Pokemon's I don't really think that people understand the impact that Let's Go is going to have.
Yeah, exactly. And so, I know a lot of people want Animal Crossing. I'm talking to you, Phoenix and Colin and Nick. It's like
Josh
and everyone, but Animal Crossing is not coming this year. It's just not. And so personally, I could see something like a Mario Maker port or something like that. Like maybe another, or even like another 2D Mario game, like maybe another new Super Mario Brothers. But beyond that,
we're due for a 2D Zelda.
Or a 2D Zelda. That'd be awesome.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Uh-oh.
But other than that, it's not going to be Metroid. It's not going to be Animal Crossing. And honestly, I don't really necessarily think I want those games to come out yet. Save those for next year, along with Pikmin 4 and some games like that. But I don't think it's going to be anything huge. Again, I think it might be like a port. Super Mario Maker just makes too much sense. I
think Mario 3D World makes more sense than Mario Maker.
Do you think Mario 3D World makes more sense than a 2D Mario?
Yes.
Okay.
I do, because I think that Nintendo needs to revisit the new Super Mario Brothers formula. I really do. For it to be effective, going into, it needs a little more than what we've gotten.
New isn't new anymore after 14 years.
I don't think. To clarify, if they do, what I was trying to say was I don't think that would be a port. I think it would be a new game. If they did a 2D Mario.
No, but I'm saying I want to those games feel good enough, but not super good. You get what I'm saying?
I guess
Mario Wii U or Mario U, after playing new Super Mario Brothers on the Wii felt fantastic. It was oh, this is great, but Mario U just felt like the lost levels from the Wii game.
I think what's weird I think my problem with doing the 3D World is because you've already got a great 3D Mario game on the Switch. And so, and I know they're different. I know that but I could see them doing a 2D Mario just to have even a bigger differentiator, but Mario Maker makes the most sense to me personally.
For me, 3D World is in my top 5 Mario games of all time. And I think it's one of the unsung heroes of the Wii U era. And I think it's only inevitable that it finally gets a port over eventually with added content.
Yeah.
I'm thinking, in that game, you got Mario, Luigi, Toad, Peach, Rosalina. I need 4 more characters. I need Wario and Waluigi and somebody else. I was saying that back then, put Yoshi in the game, right? As a playable character, do some things with that. That would be worth replaying through that game again.
Yeah. To me,
just the variety of it is so good.
I think Mario Maker is probably a no-brainer though. That one I could really see coming in the system.
See, I just don't see it. I don't see the integration working well because the whole thing with the Wii U was you've got both screens working in tandem at the same time, right?
So what I've seen is if they do it, you might, to do level creation, you might have to be in TV mode, and you or how'd I read it? They were talking about something where you would it could be on I don't know, something weird. I don't remember. Now that I'm saying it out loud, it doesn't even make sense. So you're right. I don't know how it would work personally.
Yeah, because you can't use both screens at the same time because the dock is specifically made to block the display.
Yeah, exactly.
So it can't be shown.
Yeah, so that totally wouldn't work. I don't know. So what I read was obviously
I could see doing it you can create your level on the Switch and then dock it to play it. I get that.
Yeah, maybe that's what I'd read. Yeah,
I just don't. I don't know how that's gonna. I don't see how that can move forward though.
Yeah.
It'd be very tedious.
Yeah,
and the whole thing about Mario Maker when it was advertised for the Wii U was look how easy it is to create a Mario level. You know, look, you don't have to put much effort into it, which is obvious if you've ever gone online and played some of those levels, right?
Yeah.
So there you
Yeah,
go.
absolutely.
Flat Cap Gamer, old Gary Gray asks us this: Mario Kart VR is coming to England, unlike the World Cup. Womp womp. Are you jealous? Are you jealous that Mario Kart VR is coming to the United Kingdom?
Is this
Sure.
like an arcade machine or what?
I haven't
Like,
heard about
yeah, I
this,
guess
but
like
it
you
sounds
can,
awesome.
yeah, you can go play it.
Huh. That's pretty cool.
I was going to
Yeah.
say, I don't think that wouldn't be out on any of the other home VR solutions.
No.
Right?
Because Nintendo doesn't have one. So that's the only other thing I could think of.
Yeah.
I haven't heard about that. That's pretty cool. That would be really fun to play. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. Have you seen the video of it, Zach?
No, I haven't.
You need to go look it up. It's really cool. Like you're sitting in a seat that mimics the go-kart, and like you've got the full VR thing on, and you're steering, and it's like tilting and
Interesting.
jostling as you go across bridges, and you have to like reach up to grab items and actually throw them to use them. Go check the video out.
That's
It's really cool. I'm
Yeah.
jealous. I'm
I
jealous,
could
and that's my. I'm going to say I hate VR gaming because I'm jealous.
So yeah, maybe it'll come here eventually. Like I know we just had 2 virtual reality like places open in Nashville.
Oh, really?
So I know that it's like, I think that's kind of like the next thing, is these places are going to open where you go do that stuff. So maybe we'll get the Mario Kart here eventually, in the States. That'd be awesome.
Since we're so close, we gotta race each other.
For sure.
To
Yeah. Hey,
settle-
we could, you and I could just,
Since I spanked you so hard on Mario Kart 8 on the Switch, we'll see how we do in VR. Yeah, I'm gonna bring it up.
you and I
Sorry.
we could do our own virtual reality Mario Kart, and we could just go to a go-kart place and bring some banana peels
And,
and just
Turtle
like throw them out the cart and stuff while we're racing,
be fantastic.
So
I'll
till we
dress.
get kicked
I'll dress
out.
like Mario.
I'll dress like Donkey Kong, I guess. So
Or maybe I'll just get a red sheet and be a big shy guy. I don't know. I'm gonna actually put a pin in this one, Jesse. If you'll make some notes in the doc for us as I read this one. Brad Bayer at _ the band teacher on Twitter asked us top 5 GameCube games. I need some time to think about that. Okay, so we'll talk about that one on next week's show. Top 5 GameCube games.
And I was not a big GameCube fan. So.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and just I'm going to say off the top of the dome here, Wind Waker #1 overall. Can't touch this.
Yeah.
It's Wind Waker. But I'll have to figure out my other 4. Miguel Rodriguez.
But
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's okay. So now I've put my list together for the top 3.
Double
Sunshine.
Dash.
Well, there's 4. All right. So you got to wait till next week. Stop it, Zach.
Sorry.
Miguel Rodriguez and David Firster both talked about this. So I'm going to read both of these tweets together, and we're going to talk about it. You, Jesse, earlier, somebody mentioned 2D Zelda. So here we go. Do you think a 2D Zelda could be coming to the Switch? We don't know what the Zelda team have been doing since the last DLC for Breath of the Wild. Maybe a quick 2D could be in the works, or am I just dreaming? And to which David Firster also says, are the chances Nintendo will redo, or what are the chances Nintendo will redo Zelda 2 Adventure of Link like they did Metroid? Zelda 2 was a great game that could be amazing if redone on 3DS or Switch. What do you think?
On 3DS, that's where it would go.
Oh, don't say that.
No, I completely agree. The first thing I thought was the swan song of the 3DS will be Zelda 2.
I've been
I
saying
think
that
that'd be
Zelda
awesome.
2 has been needing a remake for years now.
But
So I'd be up for that.
the only problem that exists with that, though, and I'm fine with it, I would love to see that, like a modernized, different play mechanics type thing, put the Nintendo remaster, refocus spin on it, whatever. But I really think that in this, Miyamoto is like, this is the game he says he hates the most, or he's embarrassed about the most.
Perhaps.
I'm not sure. The only time I've heard that is when you said it before. So
Yeah,
I've only
I
heard
think
it from you.
I think he really doesn't like Zelda 2.
Okay.
And so, like, I can see him kind of pooping on this idea, like just saying, nah, I don't think this is good. But man, it would be super cool. Like, I don't think it needs to be like pseudo 3D, 2D. I think it needs to be redone 2D, just like Samus Returns.
Yeah, though you're saying about Miyamoto, I don't think his opinions throw as much weight around anymore like they used to. Because we saw what happened with Star Fox Zero, because that and other games that Miyamoto opened his mouth on and ended up being for the worse.
And that's a great point. That's a great point. I mean, I think we're seeing a
the new generation is stepping.
Yeah, we're seeing a new generation, revealing themselves at Nintendo. So, yeah.
I think that'd be cool though. I mean, especially if they kept the same music and they kept the I Am Error guy in there. They'd have to keep him in there. But yeah, I would love to see a new top-down Zelda 2. I mean, of course, we're getting one on Switch. We're getting the first Zelda game with the online service.
That's right.
But I would love to see...
You said you'd like to see a top-down Zelda 2. I would love to see them redo that game that way. Like A Link to the Past, but Zelda 2.
Well, if they were going to do Zelda 2, I'd like to see it side-scrolling. But, but if they were going to do like a new... I would like to see a new top-down... Or I'd even, honestly, like even if they did a port of A Link Between Worlds, I mean, that'd be cool. Like, I can just play that on 3DS, but that'd be cool for Switch for people.
I mean, that rumor was getting kicked around, right?
All right. If they did this with the 3DS, I'd be okay with it. But they definitely need to supply a mini-map on the other screen, because those dungeons look all samey.
Yeah. Well, you could imagine that, like you think about what they did with the Water Temple for Ocarina of Time for the 3DS remaster. Like I think we would probably see some things like that happen, right? Yeah, one last question from our good friend Colin Harris at Colin Harris Art over on Twitter. Do any of you NDads have a cracked Switch? And if you're not sure what Colin's referring to, multiple reports have been coming in of year and a half old Switches now beginning to develop cracks in and around the headphone jack, the air vents, the game cartridge slot at the top of the device. So Jesse, how about you?
I think my son's was. I don't remember if it was his or just I saw it in an article. But I know his Switch is physically bending, so I think there is some damage. Might be some damage around the vents. Mine seems to be still fairly well.
And look, this hit one of the guests on our show from the last few weeks. Philip Mewson from Nintendo Voice Chat had to send his in as well. His was pretty gnarly. Like if you go and you look on his social media, really, really obvious bending and warping and cracking.
Mine's good. So
mine has a small warp in it, and I don't. Again, like as a lot of people don't really know what's causing the warp. Some people say that it's playing in dock mode too much, which in the beginning of the Switch I did, but not as much anymore.
Yeah.
So I don't know. So no, hopefully Colin, yours is not cracked as well. Well, guys, that is our show for the evening. Zach, we want to thank you for joining us again tonight. And for our listeners who maybe don't know you or weren't with us on the first week that you were on the show, kind of tell us where we can find you, who you are, and what you do.
So I don't really do anything video game related except for come on here when these guys ask me to, which has been a blast. And I thank you guys for having me on a couple of times. But I'm a science fiction author, and so I mainly write post-apocalyptic novels, and put out about 20 books. Actually, since we talked last time, I put a book out, a new novel.
Awesome.
Called Rebellion, which has been doing pretty well, so that's been nice. If you're interested and if you're a science fiction like horror reader, all my stuff's on Amazon. It's all in ebooks, paperback, and a lot of it is in audiobooks as well. That's kind of what I do. You can find me at zachbohannon.com. That's my website. And I also, I guess I should mention too that I have my own podcast that is not video game related. But if you are if you're someone who dabbles in writing, or you thought about it, I have a podcast called The Career Author, and me and my business partner, who I write with and run a small publishing company with, we do this podcast. It comes out every Thursday, and we just talk about different publishing topics, whether it's like marketing or craft related stuff, and just kind of about being a career author, and kind of how we've gotten to where we can do it full time. So that's kind of what I do.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
Okay. So we'd like to thank our Patreon producers, Chris Mears, David Ernsberg, and Timothy Off. And if you're interested in helping us out with becoming a patron for as little as $1, you can go to patreon.com/NintendoDads. You can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at pretty much Nintendo Dads, pretty much everywhere. If you want to call and leave a voicemail, we're at 92925-NDADS or 929-256-3237. And thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show. If you're interested in checking out our Nintendo Dads merch, you can go to tiny.cc/Nintendo Dads store, or shows on iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play. And thanks for Carter Johnson and Adam Leonard for our artwork. So
yeah.
Think that.
Sorry about that. I had to run real quick.
That's right. I think I did all the closer.
Awesome. Thanks, Jesse. And Zach, thanks again for being on the show. Hey guys, one last announcement before we go. Be sure to check our YouTube right now, right after this show, for a special video that is our patrons have already gotten to see, but now we're releasing to the public. So check our social media channels for that as well, and be on the lookout over the next few weeks for information about the future of the show. Once again, we want to thank you guys for being awesome fans, whether you're a Patreon supporter or not. You're the ones that we do this for and that make this show possible, and that's why we keep doing it every week. So thank you for all your support. Zach, thanks for being a part of the show. And for me and Jesse, for Zach, for Justin, and I guess I should differentiate between you guys, right? Cool Zach and lame Zach, and Justin, Jesse, and myself. Thanks for listening to this week's show. Bye-bye.